Uh-oh. Hey there, everybody. Hey, real quick here. Many don't understand why combat veterans suffer from PTSD, and some even dismiss it as no big deal. Today's movie, Warfare, shows you just a peek into one of the millions of different ways someone can get PTSD. Now, one of the directors of Warfare was actually involved in the combat depicted in this film. And it's all told from the memories of all who were there. So let's gear up for some warfare today on Movies America.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies America.
All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to Movies America Live here, a brand new episode here on this Palm Sunday. And as always, I'm your humble host, Van Ebert, and we are going to talk about a movie that's not that fun, but that's not the purpose of the movie Warfare. They're not trying to be wacky and wild and crazy. It's supposed to be about a particular instance in warfare, a military skirmish, some combat operations, if you will. So yeah, they're going to keep it pretty low on the comedy levels there. So, but actually, weirdly enough, though, this movie does have some funniness and it does have some humor in it in a weird way, and it starts right off from the beginning of the movie right there. But this movie knows what it is. Again, talking about the movie Warfare, and it's supposed to be a gritty, bloody, brutal war movie, and that is precisely what it is here with this Alex Garland, Ray Mendoza movie here. But real quick, I just want to thank all my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there watching Movies America, and then also everybody else here that is watching either live or maybe you're watching this later on. You got caught up in something and you just couldn't tune in live, okay, which I totally understand that. But a couple of dudes that I know caught us live or catching me live is I got my man Beyond Formal and Lindy Rig 87 here in the live chat there, and they are enhancing the proceedings here, keeping me company here on this Warfare edition of Movies America. And then anybody else that's watching right now. So what we call it, if you're just watching and you're not live chatting, even though you're not in the middle of anything else, and you have two perfectly functional hands, not involved with anything else, you're not like scooping up and like kneading bread dough. That's gonna get clips. Or you're not making cookies, or you're not cleaning out. You're not wearing your earbuds and you're cleaning out the garage that your old lady has been on your ass to do, for half a year. No, you're just sitting on the couch, you're sitting at your computer desk watching the show perfectly. Hands are perfectly free, and you're not live chatting. What we call that is lurking. Okay, don't be a lurker. Don't be a little basic lurker. Okay, get in the live chat, and it's very easy for you to graduate from being a lowly basic lurker to a live chat champion. All you gotta do is go into the live chat and go hi, or put a crap emoji in there. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You can do that, right? That's not exactly like I'm asking you to storm the beaches of Normandy. Very easy to do that right there. And as you'll see in the live chat on Rumble, Beyond Formal and Lindy Rig 87 have already blazed the trail right here. They are those brave men coming off the Higgins boats onto the beaches of Normandy. They're storming Omaha Beach as we speak. Are you? There you go. So hopefully I'm making them feel really good about themselves. And they're like, yeah, that's damn right. Yeah, we're war heroes over here, man. We're in the live chat on Movies America Live. Yeah, that's just like storming the beaches of Normandy. Hell yeah. And so really, let's get into warfare because really that's what you are here for. I like to kid myself and think like, you're just here to look at my pretty face. But we all know that's not true. Okay. For a myriad of reasons. Okay. But Warfare. It's directed by Alex Garland and Ray Mendoza. And Ray Mendoza, that half of the directing crew, was one of the Navy SEALs that were in the combat that you see depicted in this house in Ramadi, Iraq, in this movie. And you're going to see some familiar faces in this movie, even though you don't recognize their names. I liken this to like Black Hawk Down back in 2001, where a lot of the faces that you saw in Black Hawk Down, you may not have really known what the names were. You didn't know who the actor was, but you're like, oh, yeah, that guy looks familiar. And yeah, that guy looks familiar. And God, where did I see them at before? Who was that? Like, and then now we know them all, right? You know, like Josh Hartnett and Sam Shepard, and you got Ewan McGregor and William Feitner and Jason Isaacs and Eric Bana, like all these names that we know now, right? But you didn't know who they were. I mean, Tom Hardy, Bane, from The Dark Knight Rises and Venom and all that. Tom Hardy was in the Black Hawk. That's like an old man. Have you watched the Black Hawk Down there, Shetty? In Black Hawk Down. So yeah, a lot of familiar faces in that movie, and so I think it's going to be the same way with Warfare, where give it 10 years, and you're going to be like, hey man, do you remember? Yeah, Joseph Quinn was in Warfare. Yeah, this guy that we've known, he's like won 2 Academy Awards already, and he's been in this big budget movie, like multiple big budget movies. Yeah, he was in Warfare back in 2025. Yeah, who knew, right? So kind of like what we say about Black Hawk Down. But speaking of which, yes, I just already mentioned him. Joseph Quinn is in this movie. He's going to be the new Johnny Storm on the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. And then also a lot of people know him as Eddie from Stranger Things. And then we have Cosmo Jarvis. He's also in this. And I know him because he was one of the stars. He was like, there was Hiroyuki Sanada, and then there was Cosmo Jarvis. I really think of them as the stars of last year's Hulu series Shogun. And then we also have Tony Soprano's son in this movie. Yeah, we got Michael Gandolfini, James Gandolfini, the late James Gandolfini. We have his son in this movie, Michael Gandolfini. Lots and lots of recognizable faces up in some Warfare over here, all right? So before we get into more Warfare here, just let me remind you that if you know of anybody that you even remotely think likes movies, right, and they want to check out a show like this that gives them a live spoiler-free review, because most spoiler-free reviews on YouTube and Rumble, they're pre-recorded, right? You can't interact with them. You can't live say, oh my God, Van, that's what you thought of this movie? I thought it rocked. You think it sucked? You suck, and I rule. You get to do that live on this show right here. Exactly. I'm opening myself up to emotional torment, and it's incumbent on you to take advantage of the situation. All right. So get this guy crying. All right. Get me crying. Give me emotional torment. That's what I want. All right. That's what I want. That's why I have the live chat open for you to torment me with. Okay. There you go. I'm sick. I'm depraved that way. So, but yeah, send the link out to this episode to anybody, the YouTube link, the Rumble link, ideally the Rumble link, because we all like Rumble here better than YouTube. But, YouTube is like, it's almost like dead tech. I mean, I know it's very popular, but as far as shows like this, Rumble's better to go check the show out and that kind of thing. But anyway, I don't care. Hey, watch this on America Online. All right, I don't care as long as it's not really on AOL. But anyway, you get my point. Okay, there you go. Now, I love Black Hawk Down. I already mentioned it here already, but Ridley Scott, the director, and then Jerry Bruckheimer, the producer of that movie, did really stylize the battle scenes, and it's sort of Hollywooded up the Black Hawk Down Mogadishu battle, which perfectly fine. That's fine. I'm not dogging that. And Ray Mendoza, one of the directors, again, the Navy SEAL that was in the middle of what's going on in this movie in real life. And then Alex Garland, they don't do that in Warfare. I mean, it doesn't have the stylized cinematography and changing color palettes of Black Hawk Down. And it basically really the cinematography, the stylized cinematography and the changing color palettes that you see that you're used to seeing in Jerry Bruckheimer movies, other Bruckheimer movies like Top Gun, Crimson Tide, The Rock, 13 Hours, you name it, etc., right? Now, if you watch this and you think, where have I seen this no frills, just like in the real world type of combat here? Where have I seen that before? I just don't know. It's really bugging me, okay? Well, I don't blame you. We have seen it before. Matter of fact, just last year in Civil War. So Ray Mendoza was a military advisor for the Battle of Washington, D.C. that we saw at the end of Civil War. And this movie also brings back the incredible sound design team from Civil War who created all those incredibly loud and kinetic sounds of war in that whole sequence in Washington, D.C. It's one of the millions of Academy Award travesties that the Civil War sound design team, they didn't even get a Best Sound Oscar nomination at all, okay? And I remember, yes, even for the people that didn't like Civil War because it wasn't what they were expecting it to be or whatever reason they didn't like it, one thing they did rave about was the sound design, especially, when the battle is fast and furious during the Battle of Washington, D.C. At the end of it, they did at least go, you know what? Sound design in Civil War, respect, okay? And the team behind that didn't even get a lousy Best Sound Oscar nomination. Now, this year, they should get a nomination for how cool the jets in Warfare sound when the SEALs, they call the pilots, there's like this thing that they do a few times in this movie where the Navy SEALs, they're like, oh my God, we got all these insurgents, got all these terrorists, they're coming up on us, man. It's getting a little cozy in here with Al-Qaeda and ISIS over here, and we need them to back off, okay? So what they do is they call these jet fighter pilots, and they tell them, hey, we're going to need a show of force with your jets. And so they have the jets come in and they do this show of force. I'm not going to ruin how the jets do that, but it's so cool when it happens. It looks cool and it sounds cool, okay? And so for those sequences alone, the sound design team from Warfare should get at least a Best Sound nomination. Okay, maybe not win it, but at least get nominated, for God's sakes, all right? And all the snooty, Cosmo slurping Oscar voters have a chance to redeem themselves this year because of the sound of combat in Warfare is just as good as it was during the Battle of D.C. in Civil War. Of course, Warfare didn't help themselves in that regard, though, by not making one of the Navy SEALs a dude who used to be a chick. Okay, now if they would have done that, not only would they get a Best Sound nomination, Warfare would be the Oscar darling all the way up until next year's Oscars. We know this is true. Don't deny it. We know this is true. I speaketh the trutheth right there. That is for sure. So, all right, everybody. Hey, just let me take a chance here to ask you to hit the like button down below if you would. Okay, so it's down there. It's down there for your clicking pleasure. All right, so click that like button if you would. Okay, it costs you $0 and 0 pennies. Okay, do they make pennies anymore? I don't know what they do. Anyway, it doesn't cost you one. Anyway, so just hit that old like button down there. Very easy. It's calling to you seductively, like the siren sounds of the like button. And then if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button down there if you would, okay? Particularly if you're on Rumble, because I'm almost up to 200 subscribers on Rumble. Almost. I'm 3 short, okay? And so if I can get up to 200 in this episode, that would be so sweet, so choice, okay? And also the girl I'm keeping in a pit over here, I won't be giving her the hose again, if I do get up to 200. So you can help out this nice lady over here. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, there you go. I'm kidding. All right. Nowadays, nowadays, too many people take things literally. So I'm joking. There's no girl in a pit there. Okay. All right. So people are like, oh my God, I'm watching this live stream. I'm going to call the police because he said he's got a girl in a pit over there. Oh my God. Nope. These are jokes. Okay. There we go. And then also, right next to the subscribe or follow button, if you haven't already clicked that already, click the old notification bell to hear ding, 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 ding whenever there's a piping hot, fresh slice of Movies America ready just for you. Not just a slice, a whole pie. There you go. A whole pie of Movies America Live. All right. And then also, just to my viewers that aren't watching this live and you just watch the recording of it, a recording of this episode, I have not forgotten about you, or you are not forgotten. All right. And I do appreciate you watching here, whether you're watching it next week or 5 years from now or whatever. I appreciate you guys being here. And, you lost out on your chance to live chat with me and I to communicate back with you. No big deal, though, because that's what the comments section down below is all for right there. And you can we can still communicate with each other via the comments section. So you can let me know what you think of the show. Do you think it sucks? Do you think it's revolutionary? Do you think it's the best thing that you've ever seen? And you now realize Movies America Live is the reason that you were born? That's perfectly fine. Put that in the comments right there, particularly that last one. That'd be cool. Or you can let me know, if there's a movie that you want me to review, something like that. So go crazy, go nuts. All right. So I don't think there's a character length restriction in the comments. If there is, I didn't put it there. So, but there you go. Go nuts. Go crazy. Okay, there we go. And Lindy Ring 87 says she's kind of a bitch. Yeah. Hey, my buddy says you're kind of a bitch. All right, there you go. So hey, put more lotion on now. Yeah, I bought that quality Jergens for a reason. Get it on. Slather that on. There you go. Yes. All right. So hey, how about some more warfare? What do you say right there? Let's do that here. Let's enhance the situation with maybe some pictures or something. There you go. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that right there. And all right, there we go. That's how we roll up in this right here. We're all about presentation and all that good stuff here at Movies America Live. There you go. And yes, so warfare. One thing I wanted to ask you guys about this movie is, have you heard of the term chicken hawk? So in case you don't know what that term means, it's the term given to politicians who, puff out their chest and suddenly find a lower octave in their voice and, talk tough about going to war, all because they know damn well they nor anyone they actually give a turd about, will have to do any of the fighting whatsoever. And Lindsey Graham, the twinkled toad senator from the not so bright state of South Carolina that keeps voting him in, is one of the most famous chicken hawks. Now, I don't know how much of an impact, I imagine likely none, a graphic, bloody war movie involving Americans being maimed or killed would have an old limp-wristed Lindsey. I'm not saying politicians should never say that America needs to go to war, but some like Graham, who gets an extra spring in his step when he sees a man in uniform, to be perfectly honest, they just talk about going to war and sending other people's kids to die way too casually and easily. All right. So, I mean, they say it like with the level of casualness. Is casualness a word? No, it is now. That we use to describe like how much we like a video game, or hey man, those shoes I saw in the window there. Look, he just says it way too casually right there. And warfare, to be honest, it's not the goriest, most brutal war movie I've ever seen, but it also doesn't hold back on the carnage. The way that Mendoza and Garland use scenes with no sound right after something terrible happens, and then just suddenly blast us again with sound, along with the gruesome images of war, it almost makes warfare like a war horror movie, okay? Like a war/horror movie. And the closest I've seen to this that's actually had an impact on me is Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now, back in 1979, because that movie had a lot of dark moments in it. So very like dreamlike, kind of hypnotic, dark moments interspersed with like some gory moments in Apocalypse Now. Now, the screenplay for Warfare holds no commentary about whether war is wrong or if the war in Iraq was a bad thing or really any other political statements. It just shows one particular combat ordeal in one house, in one Iraqi town, Ramadi in this case, on one day, all in a tight 90 minutes. So very tight, very tight. Any conclusions you draw are really yours and yours alone, with absolutely zero prodding from this movie. There's like, here's some images, you make up your mind. That's it. All right. So, and it may draw up. So, this is kind of something else, but I think it may draw the same complaints that some had about Alex Garland's Civil War movie last year. Now, some wanted that movie to go over what started the Civil War and then what happened leading up to where the movie Civil War began. Okay, so like way before, the what kind of American are you? That scene. They wanted to know everything that led up to this movie, to Civil War, at the beginning of the movie Civil War, and then actually what happens after the ending of Civil War. Some people just wanted all of that. They didn't really know it, but what they were essentially asking for, it was like a 3+ hour movie, like Schindler's List or something like that, or a mini series. Man, they would have had to have been that long to explain all of that in the way that it deserves to be explained without shortcuts and all that stuff. Instead, Civil War just said, here's these few days in the Civil War shown through the eyes of these journalists. The end. All right. Now, maybe knowing that Warfare sort of does the same thing ahead of time will help you enjoy the movie more. Okay. This movie doesn't go like, all right, here's what happened before the Iraqi war started. And these are all the deliberations. And here's all the negotiations between the U.S. and the coalition. And then here's the first attack of the Iraqi war, and then the next attack, and then the next battle, and then the next battle. And then here's what happened after the ending of the warfare. They had this battle, and that battle, and that battle, and that battle, and that battle. And then here's where we pulled out of Iraq. No, it doesn't have any of that other stuff. It's just like, okay, here's 24 hours or so in the middle of the Iraq war, and that's it. That's it. That's all it is. And so I think that if you know that going in ahead of time, you might enjoy the movie more. It might not be as annoying as, so again, you might actually, enjoy it as much as you can enjoy a gritty, bloody, brutal war movie. So I don't think anybody really enjoys those kind of movies unless you're like a raving psycho or something like that. So, all right. So let's do this here real quick, and let's bring this down here a little bit. Then we're going to stop sharing that and get into one of everyone's favorite episodes or segments of each Movies America live episode there. And it's one that's going to make you want to grab something to drink or something like that. And it's one that I didn't do for a long time because I was in the middle of this workout program where I couldn't drink. But that is long over right there. And so because that is over with, I can do this. Let's say hello to Brew Review Time. All right. Cheerio, mates. All right. Let me introduce you to Tupps Brewery. This is their Dankster Imperial, or their Evil Dankster Imperial IPA. And Tupps Brewery is in McKinney, Texas, which is basically a suburb of Dallas-Fort Worth there. And again, yeah, this is their Imperial IPA here, which is just another name for double IPA. And a double IPA, basically, they call it that because it's infused with more hops and malt, which ups the alcohol by volume or the alcohol content in the beer there. And so is just loaded with dank hops. And they say that with this beer, even though it's loaded with dank hops, it makes no apologies whatsoever. Okay. And it's, it's got 90% or 90%. That would be a beer. It's got 9% alcohol by volume, and it's got a 59 on the IBU. There, IBU stands for International Bitterness Units there. And Tups, they call this the final hops boss. Not really, because 120-minute IPA from Dogfish Head's Brewery, that weighs in at like 18 to 20 on the alcohol by volume scale right there, not just a 9 right there. And then also you've got like Harpoon's Leviathan and New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. They also all have like higher alcohol by volume content than this one. So they have more hops. So this is not the final hops boss. Sorry, Tups Brewery. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay, there you go. But it's still tasty. And I'm not getting any money from Tups Brewery. I'm not getting any kind of endorsement or sponsorship or anything like that. So this is a completely objective review of old evil Danksta here. And, you probably can't get this, most areas of the country, you're probably not going to be able to drive down to your local Gas and Gulp or grocery store and grab yourself some evil Dankster. So you might have to go someplace like Uber Eats or GoPuff.com or Open Bar. It's an app on your phone. And maybe you might be able to get some Tups Evil Dankster off of there as well. Now, if you're in the Texas area, probably going to be able to find it very, very easily right there, especially like if you've got like a big store like Total Wine and More there, which is like the Costco or Walmart of booze there. But anyway, I'm sick of just talking about this, and I'm going to take a tug off this. So here we go. Tip top. I dig it. I like it. All right. Some of those Texans can make a good brew right there. So, yeah, grab yourself some evil Dankster there if you can get your hands on that there. And that's enough but from me about that beer. Let's close out some brew review time. All right, let's switch it up here a little bit there, because I'm about to enhance your life. Yes, I'm about to make your life so much sweeter. Yes, yes, yes. And that is by me telling you all about our Movies Merica merch. Yes, yes, yes. And as you see, like down below there, you can get yourself a Movies Merica t-shirt if you want. And that's just one of the many things. One of the many Movies Merica merch items that you can get. Excuse me. All right. Got this cold that just will not go away here. But anyway, so just to let you know, you don't have to get the Movies Merica t-shirt in black. We've got it in plenty of other colors. And also, we have a lot more than just Movies Merica t-shirts. You've got Movies Merica shot glasses and pint glasses and phone cases and probably flasks. And we even got yoga pants and a number of different merch items to tantalize you, okay? And the way to see all those sweet, sweet items is if you click on the Movies Merica merch link in the description down below, making it very easy for you to find that down there, as I keep burping. And and so while you're down there and you're shopping, you're browsing for your Movies Merica merch, either for yourself or maybe as a gift or something like that, because we've got Easter coming up here a week from today as of the taping of this episode in the Movies Merica studio. And nothing says I love you, Grandma, on Easter more than a Movies Merica flask. There you go. So because maybe Grandma's a little bit of a lush. There you go. Exactly. So, or hey, maybe Grandma is a good, God-fearing Christian woman. All right. And she wants to pay homage to our dear Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for dying for our sins on the cross and resurrecting on Easter Sunday. And nothing says how much you appreciate that more than a Movies Merica t-shirt. There you go. So, yeah, get in the gift-giving mood there with the Movies Merica merch if you so desire. There you go. So, yeah, real quick here. I think I left out a big part of it. If you put in promo code, I know it says whiskey there, but if you put in promo code movies, you're going to get free shipping on Grandma's t-shirt there. So check that out, everybody. All right. So let's talk a little bit more about some warfare there. And we've got plenty more to say about that. And let's do that. There we go. I'm over here like I'm losing my mind over here. I'm losing my minds over here. I got to figure out what I'm going to do there. There you go. I was teetering there for a second. But let's get back on track right there. And when I say that, I'm referring to myself. I'm directing that right at myself. And I do have some random thoughts about warfare. Now, it's something you might run into, but if you think that maybe you're in the wrong theater when warfare first starts, don't be too hard on yourself, okay? You are in a safe place with people that love you, okay? You trust me, you're in the right theater because this movie does start off with images that you'd think you'd never ever see in a war movie. But hold on, and you'll see where it goes. Okay, so that's just my first random thought about warfare. Okay, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Okay, again, you're in a safe space. Okay, we have plenty of pillows and free pudding to comfort you in this time of crisis. Okay, there we go. And also, Hans Zimmer has been the composer. How about let's try that again? Has been the composer of the scores of many military movies. Okay, we know them all, right? Crimson Tide, Broken Arrow, The Rock, Gladiator, Pearl Harbor, Black Hawk Down, Tears of the Sun, The Last Samurai, etc., etc. Hans Zimmer, he creates these sweeping, ethereal, pulse-pounding, rousing pieces of music to go with the action you see on the screen, and it just pumps you up and gets your fist pumping, right? You know? The score for warfare has nothing like that. Okay. Matter of fact, I don't think warfare has a score. And weirdly enough, you might first hear that and go, well, that sucks, you know? But actually, the quality actually might have been lessened in this movie by having a score like that, by having a Hans Zimmer military movie score. As weird as that sounds. Okay, I know it sounds weird, but trust me, watch this movie and you'll be like, that Van was right. That Van was right. First time he's ever been right about anything, but he was right about that. There you go. All right, let's do this here real quick and let's check out a great sponsor that we have for this show right here. Okay, it's a fantastic sponsor of the show, and that would be one Flip City Magazine. Yes. Flip City Magazine is a magazine that's going to crack you up. All right, and they're good enough. They're fantastic enough to sponsor the show because you know what? Great content recognizes great content, and Flip City is exactly that right there. Now, you may be asking yourself, if you're an inquisitive person, what is Flip City? Well, I shall tell you in case anybody out there in Movies America land does not know. So it is to cut right to it, it's a funny magazine. It's a humor magazine, all right, on the same kind of, you know, I don't want to say, well, let me think very carefully how to phrase this. So it's in the same category as Mad Magazine and Cracked Magazine. All right. So if you remember those magazines from back in the day, you know, Mad Magazine with Alfred E. Newman and all the movie parodies that Mad Magazine would do. And then Cracked, you know, was like, you know, the redheaded stepchild of Mad Magazine. Well, with those magazines, you might as well just get those magazines out of your mind. All right. They have allowed themselves to be assimilated into the woke Borg, unfortunately for them. But hey, you know what? You don't have to worry about it because you've got a more than worthy replacement, okay, for those magazines in Flip City Magazine. Okay, Flip City, it has drawn the comedy sword out of the stone and is wielding it like Comedy Excalibur. Okay, so it's taking over from Mad Magazine and Cracked, all right? But enough hearing about Flip City from me here at Freight. Oh my God. Here it's straight from the experts.
I love Flip City. It has brought new types of badassery and integrity to the print medium.
Genuinely cutting, but also funny, and obviously just chaotic and very fun.
All right. So, yes, you want to get yourself some Flip City magazine there if you haven't already. All right. We've got operators standing by, okay, with the Flip City at the Flip City headquarters there. All right. And we're making it very easy for you because we've got the Flip City link in the description down below. It's down there. Trust me. All right. It's like Prego. It's in there somewhere. Okay. And once you click on that link to subscribe to Flip City, if you haven't already, or maybe you already have, and you just want a second subscription, right? Because you're just rolling in the dough. I don't know. Or you want a second subscription because you're going to gift it to someone you love. Oh, okay. So just going to click on that link in the description, subscribe to Flip City. All right. And what do you do? In the promo code field, put in movies, and you can get 10% off your order of the best non-woke magazine around there as I burp beer all over the place. There you go. So check it out. And yeah, give the gift of Flip City if you've already got a subscription right there. But, and again, I am not asking you to do anything that I have not done already myself, and I'm about to prove that right here. Right there. Exhibit A. I got Flip City right here. There you go. Check that out. Check out the gleam and the shine on that right there. So check out the sweet, sweet artwork there. So there you go. Feel like Vanna White. There you go. There you go. I'd like to buy a vowel. There you go. Right there with Flip City. And yeah, all kinds of great artwork, all kinds of good stuff. There you go. And yeah, we've got some comics in there. Also, they got articles. Yeah, see, we got articles like that in Flip City. So, all right, nothing is your better bathroom buddy while you're sitting on the toilet than Flip City right there. Okay? All right. So, when you've run out of Dad's old penthouse mags, all right, and you need something else to read on the toilet, you could do a whole lot worse than Flip City magazine. So, check that out right there as I jack with my eyeballs. All right, there we go. Enough about that. Check out some Flip City. It's all good in the hood there, my friends. There you go. And just to remind you here, so this Thursday, I'm going to have my Movies Merica spoiler warning show as usual. This past Thursday, I had to take the night off there for some stuff I had to get done. So I had to right at the last minute. Couldn't do a Thursday show, but that will not be the case this Thursday here. I say that now, and an asteroid is going to hit the planet or something like that. If an asteroid hits the planet, I think it's safe to say I will not be doing a show. All right, I will be doing more important things like running for my life. Okay, there you go. So, but outside of an asteroid hitting our planet, there will be a Movies Merica spoiler warning show all about warfare. Okay, and that is going to be the spoilery show. Okay, about warfare. It's not going to be spoiler free. Now, as I always say, I don't bend over backwards or twist myself into a pretzel to spoil movies when I'm doing the Movies Merica spoiler warning show. But I ain't exactly going to tiptoe like I'm walking on eggshells to try not to spoil it either. Okay, so I might just drop a spoiler here and there. And, if it gets spoiled and you didn't want it to get spoiled, that's your own damn fault, because I literally have the words spoiler warning in the title of the show. Okay, there you go. So proceed with caution. There you go. And that show is coming on at 7 Eastern p.m., 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific this Thursday night. Okay, and you can check it out on Rumble and YouTube and in the recording later on X And then the recording will be on YouTube and Rumble and X as well. The recording that you can watch forever. Okay. Will be all out there forever. Okay. And, but yeah, tell your friends all about the show there. Again, it'll be all about warfare. There you go. All right. Check that out. The links will be out. Check on my X account under @MoviesMerica. You'll see the links for the show there on Thursday morning. Or if you're a night owl, you might see it out there, at 2 a.m. or something like that on Thursday morning. You never know. So check that out right there. And I also put the links out on Facebook and put them out on Gab and X and all kinds of places. Or you can just go to YouTube or Rumble and just go to my Movies Merica page there, and the link will be there for the show this Thursday night. All right, everybody. So one very necessary category or segment in each of my Movies Merica Live episodes on Sundays is, unfortunately, it's the woke. Is this movie a woke after school special? Okay. Now, if I were doing this show 30 years ago, I would have never needed a segment dedicated to telling you whether or not a movie is a woke piece of trash or if their priority was to actually entertain you, because you can't do both, right? You can't be both woke and entertaining. Okay. You can't be both woke and be something desirable. Okay. You're either something that people want or you're something woke. Not both, ever. Okay, right there. Now, is Warfare, is it a woke after school special? Good news, everybody. No. Okay. I guess, as far as woke goes, I guess the closest thing to woke in this movie would be the presence of Joseph Quinn. Remember, I mentioned him earlier. He's going to be like the next Johnny Storm here. He played Eddie on Stranger Things, and also he played one of the psychotic twin emperors on that god-awful Gladiator 2 movie last year. Okay, he was one of those twins there. So Joseph Quinn is in this movie, and I guess he'd be his presence is the closest thing to woke that this movie would have. Why? Well, that would be because Joseph Quinn needlessly put out a statement about how he's going to play Johnny Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. So what the not particularly bright guy said is the way Chris Evans played Johnny Storm back in those the 2000s, the Fantastic Four movies that came out in the aughts, the way that Chris Evans played Johnny as a womanizing, devil-may-care, kind of guy, he said that that's how Chris Evans played. And Joseph Quinn, he asked, is the way that Chris Evans played him, is that sexy nowadays? And Joseph Quinn says, he doesn't think so. Not at all, right? And he said that his Johnny is going to be less callous with other people's feelings and, be more sensitive, more delicate and fragile, probably will like to hand out flowers to people, that kind of thing, and make sure to get everyone's pronouns just right. Greet everyone with maybe some warm oatmeal raisin cookies, stuff like that. So, in other words, he's really playing Johnny Storm's effeminate drama club cousin from across town. Okay, he's not actually playing Johnny Storm. Okay, I think that's Joseph Quinn was in a long about way telling us he's not Johnny Storm. He's Johnny Storm's effeminate drama club cousin from across the way. That's who he's playing right there. But outside of that, Warfare is not a woke after school special whatsoever right there. So Beyond Formal right there saying movies is the man. There you go. Yes, I like that. I love being buttered up. I don't mean that way. Hey, don't get excited there, Harry Sisson. No, I don't like getting buttered up that way. I mean, I like people complimenting me is what I mean, all right? So put your pants back on there, Harry. But then Beyond Formal, of course, rightfully says so is Lindy. Lindy is the man as well. And Beyond Formal says he's got this show on in the background, cooking some goodies right now. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, and Lindy Rigg asked the rightful question, the question you should ask. Beyond Formal, what you making? So let's see if Beyond Formal answered here. Well, Beyond Formal did say that he's got us in the background. He's cooking some goodies right now. So, maybe, Beyond Formal's got his hands. He's got it like hip deep. He's making some kind of like making meatloaf. Maybe he's making meatloaf. He's got his hands covered in ground beef and ketchup and all that stuff and minced onion, all that good stuff and that kind of thing. Now, if you make meatloaf, I do the hamburger and then I put like hot Italian sausage in that. No, Harry Sisson, again, not that kind of hot Italian sausage, Harry Sisson. No. I mean, hot Italian sausage you would put in meatloaf right there. So maybe that's why Beyond Formal hasn't answered quite yet, because he's got his hands full right there. And then, hey, we got Sean Cav here on the show. There you go. All right. Yeah, giving us his dignified presence here up in Movies America Live. And he said he just came home from the movies himself, saw Minecraft, complete trash right there. And and I think literally there, as I just remember that you can actually put live chat comments on the screen. Minecraft is literally complete trash in a lot of movie theaters right there, because they get a lot of people going to see it, and they're throwing popcorn around and they're throwing drinks at everybody and that kind of thing. And some poor schmoes that work in the movie theater that got to clean up all that, have to deal with all these mouth breathers throwing, popcorn and soda everywhere and that kind of thing. And it says, kids loved it though. Yep. Yeah, it sounds like a movie that, kids should love, including kids who can shave, that the 37-year-old guy that still lives in mommy's basement. And, mommy still makes him his Totino's pizza rolls and that kind of thing. So now actual kids, I don't have a problem with them loving that movie and go and see that movie. Maybe they throw some popcorn around. That's what the children's do, okay? But, not some 37-year-old dorky loser named Seth that lives with mommy, in mommy's basement right there. They should not be doing that right there. So, and here we go. And there we go. We're getting some inside skinny. The theater was so loud and obnoxious with kids losing their minds for all the lines they heard Jack Black say in the previews. Real cringe behavior there. So, wow, cringe behavior in a movie theater? Wow, who would know that there? Well, that's the thing there, Sean. I did run into that there myself, and I saw Warfare on Friday night. So right as the movie's starting, there was some guy with maybe a couple of other guys, and they were sitting right in the very first row, like right up in front of the movie theater, or right in front of the movie screen. All right, and he's one of those guys that the movie starts, and he's like, okay, not kind of sounds like Robert De Niro's Max Cady character from Cape Fear. All right, but a little bit more effeminate, a little more girly, but it's a dude, believe it or not. Yeah, and he's like, in the movie, like, shut the up, man. What the hell, And then the movie started, and the way the movie starts, kind of like I was talking about before, it starts in a way that you would not expect a war movie to start, and he goes right back to it. Oh my God! Look at that! And then I think maybe somebody had a little talking to, or someone like gave him his meds, and he shut the hell up for the rest of the movie. Thank God. So, believe me, I have experienced that cringe behavior right there. My cringe behavior that I saw was from a adult. Okay, so maybe it was the 37-year-old named Seth that was in my theater right there. But so kids acting that way, understandable. But some 37-year-old dork, not understandable whatsoever. Okay, now let's see somebody who's not a dork. And this guy's definitely not a dork. That's Shawnee Mac. Shawnee Mac, everybody. Yeah, Shawnee Mac. Let's say hi to Shawnee Mac. There you go. And he gives us the great line from Arnold Schwarzenegger as John Matrix in Commando. All right, as he's about to fight Bennett in Commando with "Let's party." There you go. Or maybe Shawnee Mac says, "Let's party." So I don't know. You can say "Let's party" many, many, many different ways right there. There you go. But good to see you, Shawnee Mac. There you go. And great to see you bringing the Mac attack here in Movies America Live right there. There you go. All right. So just to let you guys know here, if you guys are appreciating what I'm doing here enough to throw a little coinage my way, a little paper that folds, a little money that folds my way, you more certainly can do that if I can talk right. So if you're checking me out on YouTube, you can give me what's called a super chat there. And what you do with that, or how you do that, is down by where you type in your live chat message right there. You just got to click on the button with a dollar bill on it, and it'll just ask you how much you want to throw my way. You want to donate my way? Very easy. If you want to throw a buck or two my way, or a 10, or, I don't know, maybe you're anticipating some massive, bonus, or you're thinking maybe some of that tariff money is going to come our way, which it may. And you're like, you know what, Van? Man, I love you. I love you in a very awkward way. And when I love somebody in an awkward way, I throw money at them. And so you are about to get $100 there, Van. Hell yeah. So if you're that guy or gal, by all means, far be it from me to stop you, all right? Keep that money coming. There you go. Now, also, if you're checking me out on Rumble, though, the way they do it is they do it through a Rumble rant. That's how you can throw some money at a content creator or show, someone who's doing a show. You do that via what they call a Rumble rant on Rumble. And it works very similarly the way it works on YouTube, down by where you type in your live chat message. Just click on the button with a dollar sign on it, and it'll just ask you how much you want to donate. Very easy. That's it. So that's all you got to do. All right. So enough about that here, and just want to give you my final thoughts on warfare there. And if you couldn't tell already by the way I'm talking about it in this show here, I would definitely go see Warfare. Now, I would leave the kiddos at home. Okay, leave the urchins at home. You don't want to psychologically damage them for the rest of their lives or anything like that. I mean, it's probably not going to psychologically damage them near as much as, say, if you took them to like Evil Dead Rise, or a Terrifier movie or something like that. But it's still definitely not for the kiddos there. So I would leave them at home, and maybe that's why Warfare came in at number 4 at the box office this week. So because it came in behind Minecraft and King of Kings and The Amateur, and then coming in at a lowly number 4 was Warfare. Okay, there. So, but I mean, if you're an R-rated movie, you're already going to be behind 8 ball at the box office as an R-rated movie. You're not doing yourself any favors whatsoever. But if you're Minecraft, you can take the kiddos to it. That's you're looking for fortune. Okay, get ready for the money to roll in. Easier than, say, if you have an R-rated movie. Okay, because a lot of parents are just like, I know this kiddo movie is gonna suck balls, but I don't care. I just need a break from the kids. I just want to throw them in front of a screen with something on it, so they're giggling and laughing and distracted, and I can just maybe catch 90 minutes of some sleep. Okay, so that's when you're a parent, that's too good an offer to pass up. All right, you don't get that with an R-rated movie. Okay, so there you go. So I see why a lot of movie studios, they make kid movies, right? Because it's like the best way to make movies. The kid movies could suck balls, all right, but parents are yearning for a distraction source. Okay, yearning for it. And so, yeah, again, you're not going to get that with Warfare there. So it came in at number 4, but it's not a bore. All right, so get in store. All right, 4, hitting the door to go see Warfare. I totally screwed that up. Oh, my God. All right. If you guys have donated any money, I'm going to refund your money back to you because I really loused that up there. So, and that's ironic because I was about to ask you if you would like this episode, but I don't know about you if it's worthy of being liked now after I totally hosed that up. But again, like I said before, I'm almost to 200 subscribers on Rumble. So close. All right, I'm at 197. And like I said before, if I can get up to 200 here, then I'm not going to give the girl in my pet over here, I'm not going to give her the hose again. All right. And she's going to be, she's not going to have to slather lotion on her skin anymore for the rest of the day. If you guys can get me to 200 followers right there. So now I'm assuming everybody in the live chat already, has already liked or has already subscribed to me on Rumble, on the Movies America page and whatnot, because they're on top of they handle their business like adults right there. But there might be some people that are watching right now that haven't subscribed, and it doesn't cost you anything. I should preface it with that. Doesn't cost you a dime. It doesn't cost you anything to hit the old follow button or subscribe button on Rumble right there. Very easy to follow me right there. And then, we'll see if we can get me up to 200 here by the end of today. That would be so choice. And now, if you are already following me, hey, feel free to send the link to my Movies Merica page on Rumble to whoever you would like, okay? Cousin Sal, Grandma Rose, your mom, that creepy PE teacher at school. Just, send the link to whoever right there. Uncle Rick, that's a little too grabby. Send it to Uncle Rick as well. And let's get this guy up to 200 followers here on Rumble. That would be fantastic there, because that's what I do when I'm watching some other show on Rumble or YouTube and they're making that same call out. They're making that same request like, hey, I'm so close to 5,000. Let's get me up to 5,000. That's what I do, because it costs me nothing. I send the link out to this person and that person, that person, that person, and that person right there, because it costs me nothing. It's so easy. So easy, all right? So there you go right there. So, all right, we're getting down to the end of it here at the end of this episode right there. And what do we got here? Oh, I think we did finally get the answer to the question that we all want to know here. And Beyond Formal says, I'm making homemade bread, secret family recipe. There you go. He could tell you the recipe, but then he'd have to kill you. And I'm not joking. There you go. Yep, there you go. Beyond Formal, I like that. Hit the like button right there. So, and Beyond Formal says, it's simple. He'll pass down his top secret, high classified bread recipe down to his kids before he dies right there. I can just picture that right now. Okay, he's like at his deathbed. Beyond Formal's on his deathbed, and he's like, children, come closer. Let me give you the final ingredient to my bread recipe. It's 3 tablespoons of... Oh, man. Oh, Dad! No, don't go! Wake him up, Dad! Wake up! Give us that final ingredient. I can just see it right now there. That's the way life goes up in here. That's life in the big city, everybody. That's what that's all about. Warfare, check it out. It's definitely good to go check that out and do that. So, but anyway, like I always say, people, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Fuck you, Ian.
Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Fuck you, Ian.
Make sure you check out solo.to/The Whiskey Capitalist for all of our links and ways to stay up to date with me.
I'm kind of retarded.
And Casey, the soundboard lord.
Dwight, you ignorant slut!
We do our show, The Whiskey Capitalist Podcast, every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, where we talk trending news, politics, pop culture, and whatever weird shit we come up with that day. So if any of that sounds like fun, make sure you check us out. We are also on Instagram and X. Wait, we're not on Instagram because that platform sucks.
Damn.
We're on X at Whiskey Cap Pod. Probably here somewhere. Go check it out and stay up to date with us. And make sure you check us out on Rumble, on all the places where you're supposed to find us. Or just go to solo.to/thewhiskeycapitalist.
Come on, man.
For all of the links. Yeah. Bye.
Fuck you, Ian.
Find me on Rumble at Soundboard Lord, Monday through Fridays, about 10 a.m. Thursday nights, we're going to start doing horror nights, and you can blurp me to scare the shit out of me and all that fun stuff. Do it. Horror.
Fuck you, Ian.
What's going on, guys? Make sure you check out solo.to/tilldeathpodcast for the podcast that I do with my wife, Jen, every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, where we talk about married life, husband and wife issues. Not that we have any issues, because we have a perfect marriage. Also, we talk about healthy living, healthy eating, and don't worry, we're not vegans. Those guys are weird. We also talk about weird stories and funny stuff that we find on the internet. We do funny videos at the very end. It's a whole lot of fun. If all of that seems like something that you want to watch, then make sure you check it out. Like I said, every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And check out the link that we have below right here for our X and Instagram. It is at Till Death Podcast, podcast without the vowel. So TILDEATHPDCST. And hope we see you there. See you later, guys.
Try to relax your anus.
Fuck you, Ian. It's not that hard. Right there. It's right there. Just read it. Follow me on Twitter at Soundboard Lord. Fuck you, Ian.